Well, it is that time of year again. It's summer, which means summer scouting. So right now I'm going to go through all of the gear that I like to take on a summer scouting trip. I don't know fully if you could call this a light and fast summer scouting gear list, because I do have some, absolute giant pieces of optics on here. But this is pretty much a bare bones gear list. There's not a lot of that late season clothes. I won't have a stove on here because I'm gonna do stoveless in the summer. And I'm gonna do my best for all you guys out there on the interwebs. This is the only time you're gonna hear me say the word run. It's my goal, not to say I run this, I run that, even though I've been watching a lot of YouTube content lately. And there's a lot of other folks out there that use that term a lot, but since you guys must love me a lot, you like to make fun of when I use that. So that was the last time you're gonna hear me say that. So this is all the gear. We're gonna go through it right now. So backpack. This is way overkill for a summer scouting trip, but it's super lightweight and I'm really comfortable with it. I've been using it all year. The Stone Glacier Terminus 8700. I got a little holster thing on the side here for my Nalgene. And yeah, I just love it. It weighs 4 pounds, exactly 4 pounds for me with the medium waist belt. Packed out a ton of critters already this year with it, and I'm going to continue scouting with it and hunting with it throughout the whole entire year. So yeah, Terminus. Awesome backpack, highly would recommend it. It's definitely one of those unique pieces because it doesn't have a load shelf, but I'm able to do it, make it work really well on, kill the bear, aoudad, a mountain lion, packed out another bear, packed out another mountain or another aoudad with it. So yeah, it works really well. All right, we're gonna get some of these giant items off of here. So this is a Western Mountaineering Astrolite quilt. Reason I like to use a quilt, it's really hot out in the summer and I'm scouting throughout the whole summer months, so I don't need anything more than this. This is a 27-degree quilt. Definitely gonna be warm when I use it, so a lot of times I'm just laying on top of it when on my scouting trips. But it's a size long, really lightweight, love it. It's one of those things too you'll get used to after a while because you do have a lot of little tension things down below if you want to wrap it around your sleeping pad or whatever. But I like using a quilt a lot during the summer, and I will do it quite a bit on like spring bear hunting or some hunts in early September. Let's keep going with some awkwardly big items. Footwear. Everyone knows Hanwag Alverstone 2 GTX boots are some of my favorite. Love them during these early seasons. Love them during scouting. So these are the bad boys I'm going to use. I have some sheep feet, custom insoles inside of there. Not much else to say. Love these boots. I have a lot of flex. I'm not a stiff boot fan, as you guys all know. They destroy my feet no matter which ones I try. So I use these. Use what you like, but definitely try on different ones. Again, feet are really individual on preference of what your body will like to use. Ooh, let's do optics. Let's jump into optics. Yeah, I like optics. So this is where, like I said, it's not really a light and fast scouting gear list because of my heavy optics. So you can't kill animals unless you can find animals. And so I always will pack the Swarovski 115 with an ATX. And then since it is a scouting trip, I also will have my little BTX eyepiece as well with the marsupial BTX case. So I'll be bringing both of those into the mountains. Reason being, I can do long distance glassing or I can glass all day in the BTX, really comfortable with 2 eyes. I think 2 eyes is phenomenal if you can sit there and glass all day because you're gonna be that much more comfortable. And using 2 eyes, you can pick out some of the details a lot easier. It's fixed at 35 power, so it's gonna be really tight on some of those closer canyons. But for extreme long distance glassing, this is what's key to me because I don't have to like jump into an area really close to try to glass. I'll be glassing 3+ miles away just to find animals. I just need to locate them and then maybe I'll move in closer instead of putting all my eggs in one basket and going really tight. And then when I want a digiscope or to zoom in on something to confirm how big it is, whether it's a velvet buck or dang, I do have a bull elk tag this year, or it could be a bull elk. So I'm looking at both. I'll switch to the ATX and do a bunch of digiscoping. On the end here, I have the all-in digiscoping system, the cap, got the ring on there, and we'll just talk about this. I have the phone case right there, boom, slaps on, and I'm digiscoping. Obviously, I gotta put my phone in there. Phone's over here. iPhone 12 Pro Max. And I absolutely love this all-in system. I've used every single type of digiscoping thing on the market. and this is by far, in my opinion, the fastest and easiest. There's a lot of other great ones out there, but this one just works really well for me. Used it all in the 2022 hunting season. Absolutely loved it. I gotta carefully put these things back. Gotta baby them. Next up on optics, since I have a giant spawning scope, I'm gonna need a bigger tripod. So Serial ST124 with the Serial VA5 head and the ASIAC carbon fiber handle on the side just to cut a little bit of weight. I really just like this tripod a lot. I've had it on a ton of hunts, beat it up pretty good, always withstands everything, and it allows me to be a little more stable while I'm glassing. And stability while I'm glassing with the big heavy optic is key to me. So I will pack a little bigger tripod, even though it weighs a little bit more, on even one of these scouting trips. Binos. Marsupial, I believe it's a large bino pack, and inside here I have my SIG Zulu 6. These are actually the brand new ones, the 16 power with the super stabilization mode as well. Love these binos. I've used them a lot last year. Got to test them out this year before they were launched. Can't say enough good things about these. Image stabilization just makes everything easier to see. I don't have to mount binos on a tripod. I can actually run up a mountain really quickly, and as you're breathing really heavily, I can pop these out and glass things without, needing a tripod or glass an animal before it gets away if I'm going up a mountain and some animal's spooked or whatever. So I really, really love these. And they're kind of really lightweight and small. Definitely don't need a giant bino harness for this, but it's like the bino harness a little bit bigger. So when I do use my 12x50 Razor UHDs, it'll work really well for that. I still have a rangefinder with on a scouting trip. So I think on the podcast the other day, Trail and I were talking about it. I think I asked him if he will bring a rangefinder on the scouting trips. And I think he said no. The reason I like to do it though, as everyone knows, I like to mark every single animal I see while I'm scouting, because that's data I can use on future hunts. So if I see an animal out there at whatever it is, 1,000 yards, take my rangefinder, mark it, or get the range, drop it with the rangefinder tool on GOHUNT Maps, and that way I know exactly where that animal's at on that particular day, which then later on I can use that data to inform me on where animals are at in that unit potentially, and look at other areas that have similar terrain, similar habitats as where I saw that animal. It doesn't always work out all the time, but it's a great starting point to try to figure out where our animals are at anytime you're out there. You're out there, you might as well collect the data. So I still carry my rangefinder. Rangefinder is just the SIG 8K and the little marsupial rangefinder holder. And yeah, I do not have my wind indicator on the side because again, it's a scouting trip. Still have extra pair of contacts in the front, and I will normally keep a rangefinder battery in the back side of it. So that's that guy. You'll also see on this table, I have another tripod. The reason being, this little guy. You guys aren't going to be able to see this because this is going to be blurred out, but this is a brand new spawning scope. Maybe you can see the size, pretty tiny, but it's going to be a workhorse for me on some of these hunts or some of these scouting trips where I'm going super far in. Maybe I don't want to carry a heavy spotter, just use this to digiscope to get, record some memories so I can take it back home, analyze some of these bucks and bulls I'm looking at, or I'm really going to use this on a spring bear hunt coming up. So brand new. Hopefully it'll be blurred, you won't be able to see it, but awesome little lightweight spawning scope. And for that lightweight one, I'll be using the T004SK Siru tripod with the Tricer pan head on top. Really love this pan head a lot. It's not really that great for an optic such as mine, like a 115 BTX or the 115 ATX Swaro, but I believe anything probably under an 85 millimeter spawning scope you'd be totally fine to use this for. And obviously binos would be great on there too to help grid and scan around, but super smooth. Again, using a lot this spring, testing it out, and I'm a big fan. Oh, under optics as well, even though there's no rain, no snow, most likely in the summer, check that, could be some rain, I like to have a glassing pad. Everyone knows if you can glass more comfortably, you can actually sit there and find animals because you're going to be more apt to continue your glassing session. So I'll still have a glassing pad. This is the Stealthy Hunter glassing pad. Ryan Lampers designed it, and I love it. It's beat up, but kind of like it that way. Shelter, again, this is where that light and fast kind of comes in. I'm not going to carry a teepee style shelter for a scouting trip. So I'm just going to use the Stone Glacier Sky Air ULT, basically the full system, the bathtub floor, the outer rain fly, everything, just to make it light and fast. I don't need a big vestibule either on a early season scouting trip. So this will be great. And also it's going to allow me to pitch it in areas that are, nastier, basically ridge lines or areas where there's not a lot of area for a footprint for a bigger shelter. On a summer scouting trip, I believe this is one of the perfect shelters to have with you all the way through August and even in September if you're one of those bow hunters. So I really love this shelter. And then I don't really like to carry a shelter in the normal bag. Stone Glacier is pretty nice though, that their bag that it comes with is actually pretty small, but you can see it can compress a lot smaller. So I will toss this in a Sea to Summit compression sack. And that way it'll make it a lot smaller, less footprint in my backpack, even though I don't really need to compress everything because my backpack is so large, but just makes things a little bit nicer to have a little more compact when I'm out there. Oh boy, here we go. We're going to talk about this. So this is something that everyone in the office likes to make fun of me for when I use this. This is a Climate Inertia X Lite sleeping pad. This is my sleeping pad. Very short, has all those little holes everywhere in it because it's very lightweight. I can sleep on a rock. I can sleep very comfortable in the mountain, so this just works perfectly for me. And also, since it is going to be early season, I can basically just take my Western mountaineering bag, lay it on top. All those little down areas will go in between the baffles, and I'll sleep super comfortably. But yeah, I really love this. Super lightweight, and I'm just kind of weird like that. Just like lightweight things, and don't need to carry anything comfort in the backcountry because it's the mountains. It's not meant to be a, what do we call it, a 4-star hotel, 5-star hotel? Is that a thing? So yeah, we're going to use that bad boy during the summer scouting trips again. Stakes for the shelter. I really love, or that was a like and a love at the same time. I really love the Hyperlite mountain gear stakes. I think these are awesome. Use them in my Florida shelters all the time. They have a little more surface area. They're very lightweight, and yeah, I just like using those. They make great gear at Hyperlite, and I'm going to continue to use them. Trekking pole. Since my shelter does need a trekking pole, I will go with 2 trekking poles. So these are the Peaks Sissy Sticks Backcountry Elite. These are the new ones with the carbon cork. I was super excited when they finally announced they're coming out with a carbon version, so I had to get a pair. And been beating them in already this summer, doing some hiking, scouting, that sort of thing. So I will use 2 of them, but then I'm going to leave 1 of them back at camp every day in my shelter, and then I usually just hike around with 1 on the scouting while I'm going out there. And depending on what the weather might look like ahead of time, I still will use Peak Stormcastle gaiters. Everyone knows I'm a big promoter of gaiters no matter what time of year it is. I don't care if people make fun of you for it. I think gaiters are amazing. But again, if it's really dry and there's probably gonna be no rain, and I'm not in one of those high alpine bowls where they'll have, some dew in the morning, then I might just leave these back at my truck. But I love having gaiters. Protects your pants and prevents a bunch of debris from going inside your boots throughout the day. Clothing is gonna be a little different too than all the late season stuff I'm used to doing. So these are the Sitka Ascent pants, super light, super versatile. I do not have the knee pads installed on here because I'm trying to, don't really need them on a scouting trip. But yeah, I really love these pants. The only thing I will note, if you have these pants and you don't fold them up nicely, they will get a lot of wrinkles in them. Best piece of gear ever made, Sitka's Core Lightweight Hoodie. That's the same one I always have. You guys have probably heard me talk about it a million times. I just love this piece. Early season, late season, whatever it may be. Love having a hood, protects me from sun, getting sunburnt, that sort of thing. So I will have that as my staple all day, every day. 1 pair of boxers. Again, same theme when I'm hunting. Why carry extra gear I'm never going to use? I'll never use a second pair of boxers, so I just carry 1 pair of boxers. These are the Saks Quest little boxer briefs, or what you want to call them. And these are the long version. Insulation layers. So that's insulation layers on a summer scouting trip is kind of interesting. Again, I seem to be made fun of a lot. I've had a lot of guys comment that they scout and they never have any insulation layers. more power to them, works for them. Like I always say, you don't have to use any gear I use, but I get cold when I'm up there. You know, right now, as of this morning, 192.5, being 6'5.5". So yeah, I get cold. Guess that's a downfall of me. So I do pack insulation layers. I always think too, should be safe when you're up there. I have been scouting in the summer in a very high elevation area for a muzzleloader tag, and the temperature dropped super fast after a rainstorm, and it was brutal to try to sit up there in glass. And I was glad I packed some insulation layers. So do what works for you, but I will still pack insulation layers on a summer scouting trip. Sitka Ambient hoodie, love this piece. I can hike around with it if I need to. It's a great versatile piece. Probably could get by with just this, but in combination with this, I still carry Sitka Kelvin Light down jacket here. It's just, again, one of my favorite pieces. Everyone knows I talk about it all the time. Love this. And I will still do the 3/4 pant on an early season hunt. Again, depending on where you're going to be at, certain mountain areas, it gets cold. Toss these bad boys on. I can still glass. I can still sit up there all day. Could throw my rain gear over top if I need to. And I will be golden to keep trying to find those bucks. And this year, try to find some elk. Really wish Sitka kept making this. Cody and I were talking about it a little bit earlier. This is the Vapor SD from Sitka. Stupid lightweight. It's not going to be a piece that you're going to want to bust through a bunch of brush on because it is pretty fragile. But when those summer rainstorms just come in, they're not going to last that long. This is a piece I can just throw on, take it off 15, 20 minutes later, still stay out there and not have to like running into the trees or try to get back to a shelter to try to get out of a storm. And I just really like it during the summer or early fall type things. And then the pants are just Sitka dew point pants. So we got those. We got clothing. Ooh, this is a, should have talked about this when I talked about my quilt, but it's just a Sea to Summit Ultra Sil compression sack. This is a size small. This one was the size extra small. And this will be used again for the quilt. Random thing on here, again, you never know when it's going to rain, so I will have a Stone Glacier rain fly for my backpack. The top load of my backpack all the time. Water in the backcountry is absolutely essential, and on these summer scouting trips, and even on fall hunts for that matter, I've lately switched to just doing this as my system. No more camelbacks. Kind of sick of the whole hose deal on a camelback, platypus, whatever brand you might want to use, kind of just over it. And so I just have a GOHUNT Ultralight Nalgene and a MSR Drome Light. This is a 6-liter one. I don't even believe they make these anymore. This exact one, and these ones were awesome. The new ones are so great. Haven't tested those out enough, but I know these are very burly and very durable, and it's a 6-liter bag, and I just like to fold it all up. Keep in my backpack. That way, whenever I get to areas where I might see a little spring, I need to go up the ridge to try to glass, I'll just take this and fill it up, and boom, I have 7 liters of water. That's a lot of water for a 3, maybe a 4-day scouting trip if I'm lucky. But most of the time, my scouting trips are probably gonna be 2 to 3 days. I still have a lot of work to do, so this is just handy having both these two pieces for a 2-day thing. Fill it up, I have enough water to do everything I need to keep pushing hard and keep running in different basins during the summer. And I did say run right there, but that was actually the proper term for it because it was running in the distance. Gloves, ooh, love these guys. Sitka Gunner gloves. I say it all the time, just like I say a lot of the other pieces. These are the best gloves ever made because they're just like your normal leather work gloves. I love these things. I hate when I actually forget them places, but they're beat up for a reason because I wear them pretty much every single day I'm in the mountains. Will not leave home without those. And since it's an early season, summer scouting thing, I really don't think you need down mittens or extra, my Traverse gloves to go underneath that. But if your hands do get cold, you could always, add some other stuff to put something underneath here or bring a pair of lightweight down mitts. Let's talk about some miscellaneous little gear pieces I have here. Ooh, another favorite thing. Gosh, I loved talking about this one. Toilet paper, not wet wipes. I don't even want to get myself started on this. Toilet paper is way better than wet wipes. Exactly 1 ounce of toilet paper. This is way overkill right here for a weekend of scouting for me. probably could cut this down in half or even more than that. A lot of toilet paper for me, but I know how my body works. This works for me. Use what you want, as always. Garmin InReach Mini 2. I always have this with as well, just for that backcountry peace of mind, like I always mention. And that's always attached to my bino harness, not in your backpack. So if something does go wrong, I have that with me to message people back at home that I'm alive or I need some help. We got a little Stone Glacier little pocket here, and in here is just basically my optics, kind of my optics care. So I got a little optics, a little blower, clean off my lenses, clean off whatever I have, my camera stuff. I like taking care of my optics as best I can when I'm out there, so usually at night I will use that to clean off my optics. Lens pen, Zeiss lens wipes, good assortment of those. And in here I'll have some backup batteries. This is a backup battery for my Sig Zulu 6, and I also have a rangefinder battery, I believe in this other one, and then a little lens cloth. USB-C cord. Again, I notice I don't have my iPhone charge cord in here, but I'll normally have my iPhone charge cord as well. And then a little battery pack of your choice. It's just a pocket juice. I've had these forever. Continuing to use them until they die. And that's it. Next is the Stone Glacier Camp Pocket. This is normally my kill kit, but in a situation like this, it's now just a miscellaneous gear cache thing. Got some P-cord, just for hanging stuff, fixing things, whatever might happen in the backcountry. I always want to be prepared. Goat chamois knife. Again, I'm not expecting to have to use this at all, but maybe I need it around camp. Maybe I do something or in a survival situation, so I will still pack a knife on a backcountry scouting trip. Stereo pen. This is the ultralight UV version. I really love it because it actually charges with battery pack instead of having batteries, and that takes actually a micro USB cord. So you want to make sure you, instead of just having USB-C or just having your iPhone cord, you want to make sure you also have that cord. And right now I don't have that cord, so that's why you do gear lists. So you can figure that stuff out. Some tenacious tape, repairing some gear. I hate when my clothes get dinged up in the mountains and I have a bunch of insulation running around, so I will, ooh, that was probably a bad use case of that word too. Maybe not, maybe not. So yeah, tenacious tape, gotta have it. Peaks Backcountry Duo headlamp. I think this is absolutely hands down the best headlamp that is offered for hunting right now. Really bright, easy to charge, charges on USB-C. It's not just bright on the white setting, it's also really bright on the red setting, which I will use a lot when I'm leaving an area to get away from the animals that don't see me. So I just really love it. Very versatile. A lot of adjustments on it. Toothbrush and toothpaste. My mom would be proud. Got to brush your chompers. Lighter, just in case. Electrical tape, just in case. And then I have my bunch of pills right here. So these are salt pills, some Advil. You see I don't have my med kit. You know, in every single one of these videos, I talk about my med kits getting revamped and enhanced. And the other day when John Barklow came, it's pretty embarrassing when you have the man, the myth, the legend, John Barklow there, and your med kit looks like it was, what do you say? Looks like something from Russia in like the 1940s or something like that, making fun of my kit. So yeah, I need to work on my med kit. So that's one of my goals, and that's why that's not in here right now, because I'm trying to enhance my med kit. Probably a time in my life when I need to start paying attention to that sort of thing. So I'll have that as well. Last few things. Just got this OR, I believe this is a 10 or 15 liter dry bag. This is basically just for food, to hang the food up in the mountains. GOHUNT Hydra hat. Love this hat. This hat has been with me everywhere on all my 2023 hunts so far. Can continue to use it. And these little guys, loopholed sunglasses. No clue the model. Let's see here. The Refuge. If I recall, I believe these are discontinued. But just a pair of some loopholed sunglasses. And so these are the Darn Tough merino wool. No clue what the model is. I've literally had these for 10, 13 some years. I always use these in the summer months. when I am out hiking around. But yeah, I believe that summarizes everything on light and fast summer boots on the ground scouting trip I'm going to do. I got a pile of tags, so I'm trying to get out as best I can and do some scouting. Got some really premium tags, some just general over-the-counter tags, and yeah, really exciting to get out there and get after it. So if you have any questions, as always, let me know. If you want to make fun of whatever I have, definitely do it. If you, yeah, any other suggestions too, I'm always open for suggestions. This is just what I use. You don't have to use anything I use here. This is just for guidance and help for people who want to start putting together all their gear, whether you want to do it for a summer scouting trip or a fall hunt. A lot of the same stuff I'm using right now will transfer into the fall. Little modifications here or there to add some late season gear to it, but yeah, light and fast, and again, stoveless. So that means I'm not having a stove, no freeze-dried meals in the evening, just bars, nut butters, and mass gainer protein shakes in the morning to stay energized. But yeah, that's everything I'm using. Appreciate you guys checking it out, and hope everyone has good luck this summer, scouting bulls, scouting bucks. Looks like it's going to be a great year for hunting with all the moisture out there, minus the winter killing a bunch of areas. But yeah, appreciate y'all sticking with me.